So good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world listening to me. This is your T Fitness Uncut, and I want to make this quick video talking about this article right here. It kind of, when I looked at it, actually kind of made me laugh, and that's a huge thing for me to say, uh, based on where I was a few years ago mentally. Now, today, I can actually laugh at this. Um, the article here is saying facing public pressure, Amazon pulls anti-vaccine content from Prime Video. Now, first of all, before I even say anything, all right, I can imagine vaccines and vaccination is a huge hot topic to the general public. Uh, Anti-vaccine or vaccination, whichever side of the spectrum you ride on, I can imagine it hits a really personal chord among a lot of those in the public, uh, kind of similar to everything from abortion to gay marriage and things like that. So all those are really giant topics that can really get the public riled up. Would you agree with that? That's something that, I mean, you probably have some personal feelings about those topics as well. So what I wanted to do was I want to talk about this article because uh, one thing that when it comes to my health, I like being technical when it comes to my personal health. Okay, when you go to court, they ask you a gazillion questions, or when you're being interrogated by the police, they ask you a gazillion questions because I'm assuming their agenda is to get to the truth. Okay, so the truth is the truth regardless. But we all, I will assume that we all are continuously searching for the truth. Unfortunately, when the truth kind of contradicts our deep rooted belief system, we end up calling it a lie. And that's why I joke around and say that those who are living a lie who claim to believe in Jesus Christ, when Jesus Christ actually appeared, how would they know that's not a lie? You know what I'm saying? So this goes back to uh, one plus one being two, and then you're gonna have those who believe one plus one is five. Okay, so it's like you saying, well, if that's what you believe, if you believe one plus one is five, I'll allow you to do that. But unfortunately, you're gonna have a lot of problems with your finances. You're gonna have a lot of problems dealing with numbers because that's not the correct answer. But if that's what you want to believe, then you have to deal with the consequences of keep throwing out incorrect answers. Okay, so that's how our body is. Our body act like that mathematician or that mathematical problem. It's saying that my body is designed to take one plus one being two, not one plus one being five. Okay, and those who want me to believe one plus one is five have some kind of an agenda behind it. So what they're going to try to do, they're going to do everything in their power to keep me from finding out one plus one is two. But see, it's kind of crazy to say that because the truth always reveals itself regardless. The truth, your body and the truth always resonate with itself. And anytime you go against it, then obviously you're going to feel a certain way. You're going to feel a negativity. You're going to feel imbalance. You're going to feel a way that, you probably translate it as being sick. But what your body is telling you is, I'm being severely imbalanced. I'm not balanced. I'm having all these mathematical incorrect problems going on within me. But here's the answer. The answer is one plus one is two. And that's why I want to reference to this article right here talking about facing public pressure. Amazon pulls anti-vaccine content from Prime Video. Well, when they talk about facing public pressure, what do you mean by that? It says here, facing public pressure in a strong worded rebuke by an influential California congressman, Amazon has apparently pulled several anti-vaccine films from its Prime Video streaming service. Now, um, maybe people like to complain. I'm not. I guess that's how they roll. But as far as I'm concerned, what do you mean by public? Because it sounds like that only a congressman complained that there was too many anti-vax content on Amazon. Secondly, when you talk about Prime Video, that's a service that you actually have to pay for. So when you're paying for it, are you telling Amazon, like when you, for example, I can imagine they got a lot of videos on Amazon Prime that probably talk about negative things about Christianity or Muslim or Jews or any other movies of that part. A documentary is meant to provoke thoughts and challenge the status quo of certain thought patterns. That's the whole point of documentaries, okay? So it's obvious that they're going to have a documentary about anti-vaxxing. Okay, that's obvious. So my thing is to Amazon. This is for Amazon. If you work for Amazon, my question to you is: were you doing this to hide information that your paid subscribers are going to watch? They are paying you money so they can go on Prime Video and watch these shows. Do they still have the liberty to go on your platform and watch anything they desire to watch based on them paying you money? Do they still have that liberty to do that, even though it goes against the medical industrial complex or the prison industrial complex or whatever industrial complex? Do they have that liberty? They're paying you money, okay? So I'm aware that you're not a government organization per se, wink wink, but do a paid consumer still have the ability to go on your platform and watch movies and documentaries that goes against the status quo? So my whole thought of this situation is the medical industrial complex is an extremely powerful lobbying firm, and this proved to me how billions of dollars people vote for every single year. They don't vote for politicians because based on principle in the Constitution. They vote for them based on how much money they can spend on TV because most viewers watch TV a lot. Most voters watch TV a lot, so obviously they have to spend a lot of money to capture their crowd. And secondly, I feel that if you really prefer not to look at anything that goes against your belief system, then you can choose not to watch that. You can choose. That's the beauty of free market. But this kind of proven to me how we're not in a free market. It goes on to say, um, the shows shoot 'em up, the truth about vaccines, and we don't vaccinate, which you probably can look for in other websites and other formats or whatever, are now listed as currently unavailable on Prime Video. The three anti-vax movies were axed on the site Friday, mere hours after Democratic Representative Adam Schiff sent a letter to Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos excoriating the tech giant for surfacing and recommending products and content that discourage parents from vaccinating their children. Okay, all right. Such promotion of anti-vax material is a direct threat to public health, Schiff wrote, and reverses progress made in tackling vaccine preventable diseases like measles. Okay, so I don't want to go deep into what this whole thing's about because I like to focus on wellness. Even though what I recommend you guys to do is look at my other videos on Uncut, how we kind of talk about where all this basically came from. But let's go back to one plus one being two. You have an intuition, and what you've been trained to do is ignore that intuition. And as long as you ignore your intuition, then they're gonna do a very good job telling you what you can and cannot see, even though your heart may be leading you to information about a particular product or service or brand. They're directly training you to be of this world. And so, of course, if there's some truth about vaccines healing people, okay, if that's their game, if vaccines actually heal people and prevent things, then why do they need to have Amazon to scrap any anti-vaccine documentaries off of Amazon? And that goes for anything. If the truth is the truth, then why do you need laws and rules and policies and regulations to skirt over it, or to cover it up? My thing is this: the truth always gonna reveal itself regardless. I don't care how many parents, I don't care how many school officials, I don't care how many pro-vaccine advocates try to cover up any information that give you other alternatives about vaccines. I don't care how far they go. They can make a law about it. I really don't care. As a matter of fact, the universe don't care. Your creator don't even care because they know who's going to be following those rules, those who are of this world. So if you resonate with truth, then it's going to naturally come to you if you just ask for the information. Hey, is vaccines Is vaccines appropriate for my child? Yes or no? And then listen to your intuition, listen to your guidance to see where it goes. If they say yeah, vaccinate. If they say no, don't vaccinate. It's very that simple. But this is where they call the devil's in the details. Okay, it says every online platform, including Amazon, must act responsibly and ensure that they do not contribute to this growing public health catastrophe. To me, I look at it as saying that they don't want online platforms to give you the liberty to do your own research on whether vaccines is right for your child or not. Okay, so they basically looking at you like a child too. They say, oh, you're not smart enough, intelligent enough to do your own research on looking at the pros and cons of vaccines. It says the U.S. is currently battling a multi-state outbreak of measles, a potentially fatal and extremely contagious disease. Worldwide cases of measles have also surged at alarmingly high levels. Now, with that being said, everything from measles to AIDS to cancer, whatever like that, this is I'm not going to tell you where they came from. I'm going to have someone else who have a little bit more experience than I do, or here at T Fitness does, to give you a broad perspective of what these possible dis dash eases came from. So now that you have a broad perspective of what these ailments probably came from, if you think this is conspiracy theory, then this is what I like those who always throw darts at those who did more research on their own than those who busy watching Fox News, NBC, and CBS. What I want those who are claiming these people to be conspiracy theorists to do is I encourage them to actually do some mental work themselves, and I want them to prove these individuals wrong. I want them to prove how these diseases was not created this way. I want them to show me documents because see, here's the thing: the anti-vaccine advocates, they did their research, they did the work, they exercised their mind, and they looked up documents that you're not going to see on your mainstream media. They did their job. So I encourage those who are constantly demonizing anti-vaxxers. I encourage you to present documents showing that these diseases was not created in a laboratory or a government sponsored laboratory. You show me proof that it wasn't. Just like I would like for those who always demonize researchers who call for a false flag or a certain situation or a certain hoax, I want those who are demonizing researchers, I want them to prove to not only themselves but prove to everyone else that it's not that. You know, if you again, if you're so pro-vaccine, then show me how the diseases that these vaccines were meant to quote unquote prevent, you show me proof that they were not created in the lab. Show me. And T Fitness and all of us here at T Fitness are willing to look at your evidence to prove that it was not created by man, just so it can promote more vaccines. You know, here at T Fitness Uncut, one of the things that we like to say here at T Fitness Uncut is we are very successful and we are doing extremely well because our number one customer and fan is the truth. That's all it is. I'm gonna read the last part. It says here: every online platform, including Amazon, must act responsibly and ensure that they do not contribute to this growing public health. The congressman has put pressure on other tech companies, including Facebook and YouTube, to pull anti-vaccine content from their platform. How delicious is that? Want to start censoring information that you freely choose to look at? Oh man, what is this? What is this congressman trying to tell you? Is this insulting your intelligence? You tell us whether you're for vaccines or not. I'm asking you personally, is this congressman trying to insult your intelligence when you go on these platforms to do research? Yes or no? YouTube announced last month that it would demonetize channels that promote anti-vax content. Facebook told CNN that it is taking steps to reduce the distribution of health-related misinformation on its site. Last but not least, let me tell you something right now. For those of you who depend on videos, your videos being monetized, let me tell you something. You are putting yourself in the same position as CBS, Fox News, ABC, all these mainstream channels. They pick and choose what they show their audience based on what their advertisers want them to show. Okay, so these content makers who are skirting around what they really want to say simply because they're afraid to be demonetized, they're no more better than mainstream media. The moment you're afraid to be demonetized because you want to speak your truth is the moment you are now a mainstream media format, and you're no different. No different than News Corp, Viacom, Disney, GE, and all these companies that own these mainstream channels that the mainstream public is going to mainstream watch. They want to be protected from the truth. They don't want the truth. That's why they turn on the goddamn TV. So I expect mainstream media to cover truth on both sides of vaccine topic. But YouTube of all people, you might as well call them. And yes, this is on YouTube as well. And I don't give a fuck if we're monetized or not. Why? Because we don't look at man to pay us. As long as you're speaking your truth, when is your creator going to start paying you instead? And I say this with force, but I say this with passion. Simply because I want you to understand this. Whether you are for vaccines or not, listen to your intuition. Listen to your gut. And you tell yourself what it's saying to you. There are those out there who are going to fight to the death for the lie. They are. That's just the way they are. That's their species. But what are you going to fight for? Especially if you have children. If you have children, ask yourself, who are you going to listen to? Let them demonetize. Let them demonetize. As long as you are not selling your soul for pennies on the dollar per click, then you'll be alright. You'll be okay. And that's my thoughts on it. Again, I'm not demonizing those who are for vaccines or against vaccines. My whole point of this is saying that when you are doing your research, allow your intuition, allow your heart to lead you. And not what some celebrity says on TV or what some YouTube or Instagram influencer tell you on Instagram or YouTube. Follow your intuition. Follow it, and it will never tell you anything wrong. It will never lead you the negative way. So Amazon, this is for you. Amazon, do what you do. Do what you need to do to protect your advertisers and protect your shareholders. Facebook, you listen to me? Facebook, do what you need to do. Twitter, same thing. All of y'all do what y'all need to do. But my subscribers, this is for you. My subscribers. As for you and your mind, you follow your intuition and you'll be led to wherever your guidance leads you to, especially when it comes to the health of yourself and your children. And that's my thoughts about this whole situation. What's your thoughts on this? Share in the comment below. This T Fitness Uncut. I love you. Namaste.